This fight was supposed to be just me against those two alone, Vegeta.
Blue Popo.
What is it? Is something troubling you? It's Piccolo. I can still feel the evil in his heart.
It's almost a shame that this didn't stick around longer. Imagine the memes that could have spawned if Blue Popo had become a staple of Dragon Ball over in the West. Terrified that his pitch-black skin and exaggerated features would be seen as a racist caricature, certain broadcasting networks made the ungodly move to completely recolor him bright blue. And yes, it does look as stupid as you would expect. We're sure Toonsai had good intentions, but the final product is nonetheless insane.
Ah, it is odd.
Number 9. Guldo Decapitation.
Oh, hell! Of all the times to run out of energy! Well, there's only one thing left to do. And that's to run for it!
Vegeta had a lot of fun when it came to undoing many of the members of the Ginyu Force. Guldo, by far the weakest member, probably had it the worst when he got torn in half. Apparently, being able to stop time does very little when you aren't able to keep it up for very long.
Krillin!
Gohan!
Not that you could tell if you saw the censored version, which displays Guldo still in one piece, like he had just got knocked out as opposed to eviscerated. Never knew Vegeta was so merciful.
This fight was supposed to be just me against those two alone, Vegeta!
There's no such thing as fair or unfair in battle.
Number 8. All Things Bulma.
What do I care about seeing your dirty old fanny?
It is not dirty, you rude little boy!
The folks responsible for editing the original Dragon Ball back in the day must have been working overtime, because it's fair to say there's a lot of risque scenes here and there, most of which include Vegeta's future bride. Whether it comes to her top being taken down, dressing in a bunny suit, or accidentally exposing her entire downstairs region, there was no shortage of content that licensors had to do away with.
Strange. It feels like there's nothing there.
To think a whole generation grew up without knowing about Bulma's pantyless antics. Number 7. Everyone's Fine.
Hope you Navy boys like to swim!
Sometimes just editing out a scene or cropping out a character isn't enough. Sometimes the dub has to lean on voice actors to cover up any semblance of adult content.
Oops, I broke a sweat on that last attack.
This is especially prevalent during Nappa's rampage. Even though he's going around destroying whole cities and ripping apart vehicles like it's going out of fashion, there are constant reminders blurted out that what would normally be populated areas have been evacuated, bringing the casualty count to a whopping 0. Nappa, you're a failure of a Saiyan.
I didn't like the feel of that. Whatever it was, I'm sure it can't be good.
Number 6. Raccoon's middle finger. Nearly beaten a child to death? A-okay. Flipping someone the bird? Not on our watch. At least that seemed to be the mentality of some licenses. Case in point when Raccoon gave Goku the universal sign of disrespect right before their showdown.
This is what I think of you and your puny 5,000 power level.
Probably not the best move, since he would end up getting his spine shattered moments later. Naturally, any raised middle fingers didn't make the cut in the original dub. Though it does beg the question, does flipping the bird mean the same thing across all alien races?
Sorry. I saw an opening that seemed to scream out attacks, so I did.
Number 5. Goku's first death.
Why Die, you wretch! I should have killed you!
While nowadays we could never imagine Raditz making Goku flinch, yet alone defeating him, back in the day power levels weren't on the level of deities. With no other recourse, Goku is forced to hold his sibling in place, giving Piccolo ample opportunity to blast them both with his special beam cannon. Given how it tears through both their chests, you'd think the aftermath would be a bloody and brutal one. Not if the editors have their way, since they swapped out the hole for a bruise. Guess Piccolo isn't as strong as he thought.
Goku won't be gone for long. I'm guessing his friends will see to it he's back within the week. What? That's impossible!
Number 4, Mr. Satan.
Well, here he is, the man with the iron hands, worldwide martial arts champion, Hercule Satan!
He's the people's champ, the true savior of Earth. His martial arts prowess knows no limits. His skills, enough to best sell and subdue the likes of Boo. What else can we say except, Hail Satan? Oh, not that one.
What am I gonna do? I can't beat her. I'm doomed.
Yeah, it's obvious that this wasn't gonna work, hence why most fans in the West grew up believing the blustering buffoon was actually called Hercule. It sort of fits, given his whole macho persona, though it would have been hilarious to see kids back in the day cheering for Satan.
Are you telling me that that's the best you could come up with?
Well, yes, I'm afraid so.
Why me?
Number 3, Tien's Bloodless Arm. The DB franchise has had an interesting relationship with blood and gore, and by that we mean it's constantly done everything possible to remove its existence, at least when it came to the dubs. One of the most egregious examples being the time that Tien got his arm ripped off.
Above you!
While we don't expect them to animate rivers of blood gushing out, we would have liked at least a moderate amount of splashback. Instead, Tien's horrifying wound is censored to such an extent that nothing spurts out after he loses a limb. What is he, a Ken doll?
Why, that stubborn little... He just refuses to die!
Number 2, Another Dimension.
Managed to succeed in transporting Yamcha into another dimension.
I'm gonna take this big bully into another dimension.
The Afterlife is a paramount location in the Dragon Ball universe. Just as much as other planets, basically life after death exists, and whether you're human, Saiyan, or whatever the hell Frieza is, you're gonna end up there sooner or later, except in the Ocean dub.
It seems that Piccolo will be leaving this dimension soon, Popo.
Doing everything possible to avoid discussing any possibility of there kind of maybe being a heaven, we're instead bombarded with talks of another dimension. It gets brought up so many times that it's borderline hilarious.
The noble act caused Piccolo to phase into another dimension.
Maybe you won't be such a disappointment in the next dimension.
Number 1, HFIL.
It's not me!
You mean neither of you guys is the great King Kai?
While they might have gotten away with the whole dimension shtick, what the early dubs did to Dragon Ball's version of Hell is more infamous than anything the canon content could ever hope to conjure up.
What? You're kidding!
In a bid to do away with the fact that the word hell is plastered over the attire of the demons that occupy it, the editors pulled off the genius move of altering the text to read HFIL, also known as the home for infinite losers. It's so stupid, so out of left field, and we've come to love it. Did you enjoy this video? Check out these other clips from WatchMojo and be sure to subscribe and ring the bell to be notified about our latest videos.